Carson Wentz, right? The off-season transaction from Philadelphia, all the hoopla there, former MVP candidate, back with Frank Reich, looked the part in practice the last few days, and then we get news from Adam Schefter today around the foot injury. Now this, a foot injury early in camp wouldn't necessarily bring a lot of news, but it's Carson Wentz, who has been, shall we say, injury prone throughout his career. Your takeaway from this news and the impact on this Indianapolis Colts team in that South Division?
Well, this is where, at this point in training camp, you're like, okay, maybe it's a 2 or 3 day thing, right? You're waiting to see. Now, if all of a sudden they come out and they say, like, oh boy, I mean, this is a 2 or 3 month thing. Then you're like, oh man, we better get some help. And we know one place they're not going to get a quarterback is Deshaun Watson, because Houston will not trade him inside the division. But they're counting. Look, he is seen as the final piece, even though they're not going to ask him to put up the same types of numbers. They know he's got the potential, as Phillip Rivers did last year. He's got the potential to open up their offense a little bit and to do some things. I mean, all you're hearing is this team is Super Bowl ready. If Carson Wentz stays healthy and doesn't turn the ball over, they're going to be in it to win it. Well, so far, he's not healthy right now. So they just have to hope that it's a minor thing. It's a day, 2 days, 3 days, and that it's not chronic. Because I do think if he's healthy, from what we saw a couple years ago, if he gets his head back on right, he could be a fantastic player. And he's in the right type of environment. They got a great culture in Indianapolis. So I'm pulling for him. Again, but the durability thing is absolutely a legitimate concern.
It is, and it's incredibly disappointing. I expect for Carson as well as that Indianapolis Colts organization, because they were looking for some big things. Hopefully it's a quick thing that can come back. Foot injuries are always difficult to diagnose and comprehend on how long that will be.
Steve, one more thing on Carson. Is he the quarterback who's under the most pressure this year?
Ooh. He's one of them. I mean, Tua, you got to look at Tua. Because, if he doesn't get it done, there's huge expectations on that team. And, last year, the injuries and everything else in COVID, he kind of got a flyer for his hot and cold performances. So I would say him, Daniel Jones.
I think it's Matthew Stafford. I think that trade, how big that trade was, how much that McVay is putting into that. That bucket. I think there's a lot of pressure there for Matthew Stafford, because I've talked to a few people that don't necessarily think this changes the LA Rams.
Interesting.
And I've had to take a hard look at it. Matthew Stafford's going to have to be exceptional. I do believe.
And look, for as much as Jared Goff was a turnover machine last year, but historically Matthew Stafford, he gives that thing up now. He's a 13, 14 pick guy a year or two.
Yep.
But he'll push it downfield. He'll take chances, and that's what Sean McVay wants his offense to evolve into. Losing Cam Akers is a blow, but that's a nice call. I did not think of Matthew Stafford. That's a nice call. Well done.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I was a big fan of Jared Goff, and I liked the way he came back and played hurt in those playoff games, and they were a smug look from Aaron Rodgers, knowing he had a defense he had and a touchdown there from making that a game in the divisional playoff game. So, I don't know what it's going to look like in Detroit for Jared, but I do believe there's a lot of pressure on Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay and that team moving forward.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.